1969. And I grew up in the DC area, and my family every year would go on vacation to New York City because that's where our relatives were. And my grandmother lived in a building in the Bronx in New York, and she lived up on the second floor, and on the first floor was her sister. So my great aunt Ida, who, you know, when I'm like 16, 17 years old, they both seem like old to me. It just seemed that way. And she also had a little bit of a neck tremor like Katharine Hepburn had, but she was a very, very sweet woman. And she had a home in the Catskill Mountains, a cottage up there. So this is the summer of 1969, and there happened to be this music festival that was up in that vicinity. And my friends and I, and you know, we were just like, Ringo's gonna be there. We're going to Woodstock. So we got tickets, and we're gonna go to Woodstock. So we have 2 cars, and this is, you know, before cell phones. There's no cell phones, there's no communication. So we had a plan that if anything happened, we had Aunt Ida's phone number, because her cottage was very close to Woodstock. It just worked out that way. So we have 2 cars, and one car has a blowout on the New York State Thruway with its tire. And I end up in that car, and we're separated. So we go to Aunt Ida's house as kind of the rendezvous point, and what they decided was, my friends in their infinite wisdom, we're gonna go into the festival, you stay here and wait for the other car, because they're bound to come here. And of course that didn't happen. So I'm waiting, and this is, you know, Friday. So I get a phone call, and if you don't know, or maybe you saw the movie, as I said, no cell phones. So people had to wait in line at this line of outdoor payphones. So finally a call comes through, and my friend Jean is on the phone, and she's gonna tell me exactly where they are. Great, this is gonna be fabulous. Okay, so I'm hitching my way into the festival. It's not very far away, and I'm walking. By the time I got to Woodstock, we were 500,000 strong. Ooh, I had to throw that in there. The fences are down. I got my ticket, don't need a ticket. So I'm like, okay, this is where they're gonna be. Wrong. I'm looking for the red Ford Falcon, 1964. I can't find the damn car. So I'm on my own. And the other part of that was there, like food, everything was in very short supply. So I've got nothing. I don't have any other clothes. It's raining at times. And so Friday, okay, where am I gonna sleep? Tracy, you don't know this. I met this young woman from Ohio. Made a little hut out of bales of hay and slept in that night. And the next day, I'm like, I gotta at least get a shower. And there's nothing here, and I don't have any food. And I don't know where my friends are, but I'm hanging out for a while. Joe Cocker's playing. I'm in a van with these people. At that point in my life, I had seen somebody smoke pot. I had never sampled it. So I'm in a van, a Volkswagen van, and I'm passing a jug of wine. This is great, but I gotta get some fresh clothes and a shower. So I'm like, okay. The other thing about Woodstock was the newspapers made a big deal about everything that was going on. The New York State Thruway is closed, man. That was Arlo Guthrie's line. And in the newspapers, it was like 3 people are dead. 3 people died. So I'm going back to Aunt Ida's house. And I get back there, and she sees me coming, and she runs out, and she is just crying. She's crying, and she's hugging me. You're alive, you're alive. So I was there, I got cleaned up. My friends called again. I found out where they really were, right behind the stage at Woodstock up on a hill. We spent the rest of the festival together. It was fabulous. But in that time, a time like no other, what really I remember is that kind of love from my Aunt Ida and her caring. So that's my story.